The San Francisco 49ers make a trade. They go out and get Brian Robinson Jr. from the Commanders for a sixth round draft pick. Adam Peters coming in clutch, former assistant general manager of the 49ers, now GM of the Commanders, making deals with John Lynch. This is a second deal they've made this offseason. Obviously, Deebo Samuel was the first one. But the San Francisco 49ers get a 26-year-old running back heading into the final year of his deal. Former Alabama Crimson Tide running back, was a third-round pick, number 98 overall. So the 49ers get a sixth-round pick. He is heading into the final year of his deal, so it's kind of like a rental situation. I would be surprised if the San Francisco 49ers did, extend him, but you never know. He's a powerful downhill type runner, and he's known for his toughness, running in between the tackles, solid in pass protection. And I do think that this is emblematic of kind of what the 49ers had planned with Patrick Taylor Jr. I had mentioned this multiple times. Patrick Taylor had carved out a nice role for himself. He kind of was filling that Jordan Mason role. And he unfortunately goes down with an injury, had season-ending shoulder surgery, and it kind of left the 49ers in a particular spot. And I was kind of mentioning this on Twitter, like there's a hole here. Yes, Isaac Guerendo is there. Yes, you have guys like rookie Jordan James who could be available, but the 49ers fill a much-needed hole. Again, I got a lot of pushback from this on fans because they weren't conceptualizing that I wasn't saying Patrick Taylor was like irreplaceable. What I was saying was he had a specific role, and that role now left a hole, and no one currently on the roster that I could see would fill that role. Well, the San Francisco 49ers go out and they do exactly that. A physical in between the tackles runner, and they go out and get Patrick Taylor Jr. I am reading just right now, it does appear that the Commanders have agreed to take on some of his contract. So that is an interesting element here. Let me get my other phone out so I can give you those exact details, as obviously things are progressing in real time. But it does look like the Commanders also worked with the San Francisco 49ers. We are seeing that the Commanders have agreed to take on some of the $3.4 million owed to Brian Robinson Jr.'s as part of the trade agreement. So that is maybe why the 49ers offered up a sixth-round pick instead of, let's say, a seventh-round pick swap, is because of the simple fact that the Commanders are also taking on some of his contract. So not bad. I mean, honestly, again, you get a guy who's been in the league. He had in 2023 had over 900 total scrimmage yards and 5 touchdowns. So he's a guy who can contribute. Obviously, it didn't work out with the Commanders. They're moving on from him clearly, but the San Francisco 49ers get a competent back. He's a guy, again, who fills a role. I don't see him as a starter. I see him as a role player, and that seems like what the 49ers just got. So I don't mind it, and I actually tweeted about this. I talked about this yesterday, about this rumor and about how the 49ers were linked to Brian Robinson and this trade. I had effectively said that I would really only do this trade if it was a late round pick swap, or in this consideration, giving up a sixth and the Commanders taking on some of his contract. I don't know the exact amount of what they're taking on, but they are taking on his part of his $3.4 million contract. So that is pretty substantial and significant. And so, again, the 49ers aren't sitting on their hands. They're running into unfortunate injury situations. Yes, they're running into things that they can't control, but they're also not going to clearly let that just dictate their season. They are making sure that they are going out and being proactive. They trade for Sky Moore. They go out and they get Brian Robinson Jr. They're doing whatever they can to insulate this roster as best they can We know depth is a concern. Running backs have just been injured, and again, I've placed an emphasis on this as well. So, yeah, I mean, I can't say that this is a bad move. I can't say, I think this is a quality move. The 49ers give up very limited draft capital. They get a guy who I mentioned will fill a very specific role and a hole that was currently on the roster with Patrick Taylor's injury. So, good. I think this is solid. I'm not upset with the compensation given up. I think it makes sense from that particular standpoint, and it makes sense for the role that Brian Robinson Jr. will play for the San Francisco 49ers. So now this is the time where I turn it to you, and I want to hear from you and your thoughts on this move, how the San Francisco 49ers manage this. What do you think? Who won this trade? Give me your instant grades. Give me all the feedback of what you think this trade is. Let me know in the comments below, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.